as I can't wait to talk to Dave Velasquez here, the assistant coach of the Aztecs. And, again, they dropped the Mountain West title game 45-43 to Wyoming. And now, as we said, they will take on the 9th seed, St. John's, and they're the 8th seed. Those are always traditionally your best matchups, too, when you're talking opening round games in the NCAA tournament. You can follow Dave also at Dave_SDSU Hoops on Twitter. And Coach Velasquez now here with us on the Mighty 1090. Coach, pretty tough loss, but you got to put that behind you now as you get ready for the big tournament, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to put that game behind us. From a coaching standpoint, if there's some adjustments we could have made, if there's things we could do better, if there's things that St. John's might see from that game and say, well, maybe we should try to do what Wyoming did. We got to still make our adjustments, but more than anything, we got to move on. Get our confidence back and get ready for a great St. John's team on Friday night out in Charlotte.
Coach, let me throw this at you, too, and let's go back to the Mountain West title game. Now, this is me, and I'm 1,000%. I've never lost a college basketball game, so tell me what I'm seeing. I'm sitting there watching the game, and I just saw Wyoming pack it in the paint and force us to shoot perimeter shots. I don't want to use the word panic, but did we come out of our identity a little bit, especially down the stretch run when they were forcing outside shots on us?
I wouldn't say we came out of our identity. I would say more than anything what that did was it really took away our guys' confidence and just took away more of our free-flowing play that you usually see. We got really tentative. I mean, we had guys giving us shots from 8 to 10 feet away, and we weren't shooting them to start the game. So what happened was when we started to get those shots, we didn't know if that was the right shot to take. In any other game, you're wide open from 8 to 12 feet. I mean, you got to shoot the ball. And what happened was more than anything else, we got a little tentative, and we did get away from our identity, but it was more of a mind game than anything else. We still threw the ball to JJ inside. They did a great job packing it inside, but when the ball came out, we didn't quite have our rhythm to let the ball go. And I think more than anything else, that's what they did well against us.
Assistant Coach Dave Velasquez here on the Corky's Hotline on San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. Coach, does a game like this, does it help prepare you for the NCAA tournament? Because as you said, I mean, you learn more from your failures than you do your successes because, again, once you rectify failure, you know what not to do again. So something like that, a title game like that, I'm not saying you lose any time it's a good thing, but, I mean, kind of right on with that a little bit, you think?
Well, we can move on and learn from it, like I said, but more than anything else, we have to get back to doing what we do best. And we'll move on to practice today, and we might show a little bit of tape of our game against Wyoming to our guys, maybe even a little bit of Colorado State and UNLV, which we didn't have time to watch after the games because 3 games in 3 days is tough on preparation. It's tough on the kids' legs. You got to get them as much rest as possible. But we'll kind of just take some bits and pieces from each of those 3 games and move forward. I mean, it's really one of those things. That's done with. Yesterday was yesterday. Today's now the day to get better and move forward. And we are excited about our matchup versus St. John's, a team who's as talented as any team we've played all year.
Coach, what's the difference preparing for a conference title tournament and the NCAA tournament?
Well, the conference tournament, you're so familiar with the teams already. I mean, if you asked any of our guys, how do we want to guard Boise State or Wyoming or Colorado State, they could rattle off the top of their heads without having to look at a piece of paper. NCAA tournament, I mean, it's really a blank sheet that starts yesterday about 3:30. And now, as a coaching staff, we know what we want to do against St. John's, but our players still have no idea. All they know is that they're playing St. John's out in New York where Dwayne Poley used to go to school. They have no idea what they do good, I should say, and what they aren't very good at. And so that's on the coaching staff today to kind of give them kind of a primer for the rest of the week on how we're expecting to attack St. John's.
Coach, what's to say to the program? I brought this up to you before. 10 straight years, over 20 victories. Now, it's 6 straight years going to the NCAA tournament. I believe under Coach Fisher, it's his 11th time that he's gone to the tournament since he's been the head coach and taken over for the Aztecs. But this current streak, no team in California has a 6-year run like this on what we've done. What's that say to you?
It's fantastic. What it says is we have a national program. We have a program that's etching closer and closer year by year to the elite. The other teams that have this long stretch of run of NCAA tournaments, I think there's 8 other schools, I believe, 8 to 10 other schools. So you're talking about a handful of schools that can say they've been in the NCAA tournament 6 straight times. Now, all those other schools, they have tradition that's so deep. I mean, they are deep in tradition, and much respect to them for that. We're the new tradition. We're kind of the new kid on the block that we hope 30 years down the line, Coach Fisher's built this foundation that we can say 30 years from now, San Diego State's a blue blood of college basketball. And we're continuing to build that as we move forward. And another NCAA tournament berth, it can only add to his legacy and our legacy here at San Diego State.
Coach, final question for you. I hate the conference tournaments. I do, because I think it de-emphasizes what you guys do during the regular season. It takes away from going on the road to Boise or to going to Wyoming or flying and laying in different beds and eating different food, getting on airplanes. And I don't know. I mean, are you a fan of these? I know they're just cash registers for the conferences and for the NCAA, but does it de-emphasize the overall body of work when you have to play a one-and-done conference tournament?
You would hope it doesn't, but at the end of the day, it does a little bit. And it definitely does in a situation like Boise State and Colorado State, who had excellent regular season years. There's not a team in the country, in the history of the NCAA tournament, that had as high of an RPI as Colorado State. That's been a measuring stick for a very long time. Now, it's not always been the deciding factor, but it's been a very major measuring stick for who should go to the NCAA tournament. They're the highest team ranked RPI to not make the NCAA tournament. That's shameful. They deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. We should have 4 teams in the NCAA tournament. They're good enough. And for them not to be, because they lost on a Friday night to San Diego State, who got in as an at-large berth, to me it's unfair to them. And they're an excellent basketball team. And Boise State getting put in the playing game at Dayton, they're excited to be in, but to play Dayton at Dayton in the NCAA tournament is quite the task they have in front of them.
I'll say, put a guy in your own house to go play him. I mean,
absolutely.
Wow, that's ridiculous. Hey, Coach, always awesome. We're going to catch up again. Good luck on Friday night against St. John's.
I appreciate it, Dan.